Welcome back to Easy Math. In this video, we are going to solve some NCERT book problems of class 10 chapter 6 triangles. So let's just see the question in the figure. So there is a figure and let me mark the respective points so that we can understand the problem. That is, this triangle is PQR, P, Q and R. This point right here is D. This point right here is O. And these two points are E and F. Okay, so in this figure, DE is parallel to OQ, that is this line DE is parallel to OQ. Okay, and DF is parallel to OR. So DF is parallel to OR means this line is parallel to this line. We need to show that EF is parallel to QR, that is this line is parallel to this line. So to prove this, let's just go to the solution of the problem. So to prove that EF is parallel to QR, consider or else in triangle POQ. Okay, so when I apply, it is given that in the question DE is parallel to OQ. So when I apply basic proportionality theorem, so if you don't know basic proportionality theorem, you can visit my channel and you can see BPT theorem or else Thales theorem explained in my channel. I will give the link of the videos in my description of this video. So in triangle POQ, when I apply BPT theorem or Thales theorem, I am going to get a ratio, a proportionate, that is PE by EQ is equal to PD by DO. Mark this as equation 1. And similarly in triangle POR, it is given in the question that DF is parallel to OR. Okay, so again when I apply BPT or Thales theorem, I am going to get PD by DO is equal to PF by FR. Okay, mark this as equation 2. And from 1 and 2, I'm going to get PE by EQ is equal to PF by FR. Okay, so mark this as equation 3. Okay, using 3 and converse of BPT theorem, in triangle PQR, I am going to get EF is parallel to QR. Okay, so if you don't know converse of BPT theorem also, there is a video in my channel. I will share the link of that as well. So let's just proceed with the next problem. Here we proved EF is parallel to QR. So let's just proceed with the next problem. Okay, prove that the next problem is prove that a line drawn through the midpoint of one side of triangle is parallel to the another side and bisects the third side. Okay, prove that a line drawn through the midpoint of one side of triangle parallel to another side and bisects the third side. That is, they have given that there is a line which is drawn from midpoint of one side and parallel to the third side. So consider a triangle and consider a line. Imagine that this triangle is A, B, C, and this is D, E. Okay, and E is the midpoint of AC. So here I am going to consider E is midpoint of AC. Okay, and DE is parallel to BC. Okay, so they have given, that is only we have taken, that is a line drawn through the midpoint of one side. Okay, midpoint of one side means E is the midpoint of AC of a triangle parallel to another side. Here the line DE is parallel to BC. Okay, parallel to another side, bisects the third side, which is what we need to prove. So we need to prove D bisects AB. So here also again we are going to use a basic proportionality theorem only. So since E is the midpoint of AC, E is midpoint of AC implies that AE is equal to EC, right? So AE is equal to EC, which implies AE by EC is equal to 1. Okay, and we knew that DE is parallel to BC, which implies by BPT theorem, we can apply BPT theorem in triangle ABC. We can say that AD by DB is equal to AE by EC, and AE by EC is equal to 1. So which makes AD by DB is also equal to 1. Since AD by DB is equal to 1, we are going to get AD is equal to DB, which implies D is midpoint of AB. Hence proved. So let's just see the next problem. Here another problem which is also nothing but an application of converse of basic proportionality theorem. Here they are given that prove that line joining the midpoints of any two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side. That is, there is a triangle and there is a line joining midpoints. So mark this triangle as A, B and C, and this points as D and E. Here according to the question, it is given that D is midpoint of AB and E is midpoint of AC. Okay, and we need to prove, what we need to prove is that is parallel to the third side. That is, the line joining the midpoints is parallel to the third side. So here we need to prove DE is parallel to BC. Okay, so the solution is, since D is midpoint of AB, we are going to get AD is equal to DB which implies AD by DB is equal to 1. Okay, similarly, if we consider E, since E is the midpoint of AC, it is given that E is the midpoint of AC, we are going to get AE by EC is equal to 1. Because AE will be equal to EC, so AE by EC will be 1. So we can say that it is also 1, it is also 1. So we are going to get AD by DB is equal to AE by EC. Okay. So now using the mark this as equation 1. Okay, using 1 and converse of BPT theorem. Okay, using 1 and converse of BPT theorem or Thales theorem, we are going to get DE is parallel to BC. Hence prove. We proved that it is parallel to the third side. So I hope you guys understand the problem that I just explained. Like, share and subscribe Easy Max for more videos like this.